Welcome to ChessBase Magazine 177. The top tournaments of this issue are Magazin, which was won by Wesley So, second world champion Magnus Carlsen, Gibraltar, which was won by Hikaru Nakamura for the third time in a row, really very strong, this time after a tiebreak match. The FIDE Grand Prix in Sharia, with the three winners Grishuk, Sheila Graf and Mamedyarov. And last not least, the Women's World Championship won by the Chinese player Tang Zhongyi. Congratulations to all winners. There's a lot of material from Wijk. I want to start with So Wojciech, where the winner Wesley So has made deep, detailed annotations, which I had to delete due to the space limitations of this video format. How to continue with white, how to play the slide strategic initiative. Bishop b4, very strong. Now there's strong pressure against many points in black's position and it's not easy to neutralize. And I guess that Radek Wojciech had underestimated in this position the strengths of white's queenside majority. And after some further moves, So converted here very nicely with Rook c1 and everything falls into place for white and black is lost whatever he does. Anish Giri has annotated his draw against Dmitry Andreikin. How could he have won here with white? He played Rook d2, but e5 would have broken the walls due to e6 and black's defense is overloaded. And Levon Aronian has made notes on his win against Anish Giri, and this is very instructive because he played here c5 and then sacrificed the exchange and played a real model game on how to play such a dark square initiative with a bishop pair as compensation for the exchange. And it is next to impossible to defend this with black. I think white's long-term compensation and pressure is just so strong. Study Aronian's notes and you will learn a lot. There are 12 opening surveys. One of them is the opening trends, this time by Yevgeny Postny on the Boguinian. And I was especially impressed by the following from Rothstein, for example, Rothstein, Ortiz, Suarez. Here we have the Boguinian, and this is not a repertoire, just looking, Postny is looking at the recent developments. And here practice has proved that after the slightly surprising and very subtle b3, this is very surprising for me, but deep. White has a slight initiative, and the black task is very, very unpleasant, and Rothstein won a very instructive game. So look at Postny's annotations to keep you up to date in the Boguinian. As new author, German international master Jonas Lampert looks at the following pawn sacrifice. And such pawn sacrifices can arise in many lines. When white fianchettos the light squared bishop and black plays queen c7 to attack the c4 pawn. And sometimes the pawn can be taken, sometimes it's too risky. And here I think Lampert proves convincingly that this is very risky, maybe even too risky. But white has to know what he is doing, and then a critical, well-played game is Smirnov-Pankratov, Handyman-Zisk 2014. And here Pavel Smirnov showed the road for white. Black has other options, but no real way to stop this. And I think now I can stop. It is clear that white has strong pressure on the dark squares. Good advantage in development. Black has difficulties to develop the c8 bishop and to regain control of the weakened dark squares. Lampert proves convincingly that white has a very good compensation, probably even slightly more than that. And last but not least, Petra Papp shows the way for white against the Portuguese gambit. Scandinavian with knight f6, Portuguese variation, and white is better in all cases according to Petra Papp. And again, I find this very convincing. Here in Malahi Zanyai, white can even give back the pawn. Black wins back the pawn, but doesn't equalize. Only the number of pawns, not the position. Because here, yeah, white's advantage in development is just too large. And whatever happens, white is for choice. Yeah, and there are other lines, but Petra Papp looks at all of them and always finds a way to white advantage. In the columns, Oliver Ray in the tactics looks at playing for 3 results, all examples from Gibraltar. Cruiser Carana, white to move. 3 results. Okay, playing against such a super strong opponent, white decided that a draw was also a nice result and perpetual check. But Rook f4 and Rook f2 give white very good winning chances. And study all of Oliver Ray's exercises yourself first, go deeply into them. Only this way you profit from the approach. Michael Marin in the strategy column looks at the central pawn breakthrough d6, d5 in Ruy Lopez and Pert's structures. And of course, with this team directly connected is the world champion Boris Vasilyevich Spassky. For him it was a very big theme in many of his games. Maybe you can study them alone, but it's even better to look at Marin's annotations. And here in Bern, Spassky, of course, d5 was a very good choice. But you need a fine-tuned intuition to really find out when it's good for black to go into the dynamics like this, like here, and when you better avoid it because you open the position for white. It hinges on subtle points, so not easy to explain here. And yeah, I'm also maybe not the right author. Go to Marin's column and study the fine points in detail. I look at endings from Weigense and was especially impressed, of course, by world champion Magnus Carlsen and his impressive technique. Here against Pavel Elyanov, he really showed that black is going to win. He controls the counterplay first. This is the big secret of the game, of course, and then slowly but surely plays his own trumps with his amazing technique. Go to the endgame videos and study especially his games in detail. In the move-by-move column, Simon Williams looks at Hujifan Yuwen Yu from Gibraltar Open, the number 1 of the women's rating list against the number 2. But Yuwen Yun won in a French Steinitz variation, and really answer all of Simon Williams' questions yourself first, and only then, afterwards, look at the solutions. Last but not least, Rainer Knark's opening traps. He has selected 8 traps with 3 videos. And I have selected one of them, the very famous Geller trap from the King's Indian. For example, Maximenko, Dershinsky, but the Geller trap happens very, very often, and yeah, there could be chosen many, many Grandmaster games, so this shows how difficult it is. Okay. King's Indian, this variation. And now taking on d4 and setting up the Geller trap. And here best would be Queen f4, and white could hope to preserve a slight advantage. But many white players opt for the seemingly solid f3. Why does this fall into the trap? Black to play and get an advantage. Solve this yourself first, and only afterwards look at the solution by Rainer Knark on the DVD. And now I wish you a lot of fun with ChessBase Magazine 177.